You're not going to believe this one, but here we go. The very woman leading a politically motivated lawfare mortgage fraud case against Donald Trump might have just committed felony mortgage fraud herself. That's right. New York Attorney General Letitia James,
Big Letitia,
who built her career on chasing Trump and accusing him of falsifying financial documents, which he did not, may have signed her own political death warrant in Virginia by doing exactly that. In this video, we unpack the hypocrisy, the legal implications, and how this whole mess could not only cost her the case against Trump, but her job, her license to practice, and maybe even her freedom. Let's get into it. Okay. New York Attorney General Letitia James, yes, the same one who launched a media circus accusing Donald Trump of mortgage fraud, might have pulled off an actual mortgage fraud scam of her own. And I don't mean some technical error like Big Letitia did where she fabricated wrongdoing against Trump. I mean straight up documented, black and white, signed on the dotted line mortgage fraud. But what you're about to hear makes it so much worse. It turns out that just weeks before going after Trump in court, Letitia James bought a home in Norfolk, Virginia, along with a relative named Shamice Thompson Hairston. Now, that's not illegal, but what's very illegal is what she allegedly did to get a better mortgage rate. First off, she granted her relative a limited power of attorney tied to the purchase. That's not shady at all, right? While pointing fingers at Trump, she was literally empowering someone else to sign legal documents for her in another state. But here comes the thunderbolt. When James and Thompson Hairston signed for the mortgage, they claimed they'd be living in the Virginia home as their primary residence. Let that sink in. It's not an investment, not a second home, primary. And that's important because that claim is what gave them a lower interest rate. And it wasn't vague or implied. She signed a legal document that says verbatim, I hereby declare that I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence. Yeah, she wrote it, she signed it, and it was filed with the county. Now, here's the thing. If that statement was false, it's mortgage fraud under federal law. And guess who's in charge of prosecuting federal law these days? Oh, how the tables have turned. So that signed power of attorney, according to the Gateway Pundit, those words appear in black and white in a specific power of attorney signed by James and filed in Norfolk on August 17, 2023. They were not written by a lawyer acting on James' behalf. They were her words, her intent, her signature. So this isn't some gotcha over a technicality, guys. This is a sitting attorney general of New York signing a legal declaration under penalty of perjury. Let me put it like this. Either Letitia James just defrauded a lender or she moved to Virginia, which means she doesn't qualify to be Attorney General of New York anymore. Now, New York law is crystal clear. The public officers law says you must be a resident of the state for at least 5 years to hold office. The state constitution repeats that. And if you move out, the office is considered vacated immediately. So here's the 2-lane highway that James just ran into traffic on. If she truly intended to live in Virginia, then she disqualified herself from holding office in New York. However, if she never intended to move there and sign that document anyway, hello, mortgage fraud. Either way, she's trapped. And the beauty is, she did this to herself. Unlike Big Letitia, Donald Trump didn't pontificate during the campaign that he was going to get Letitia. This wasn't a slip of the tongue or a bad day at the copier, guys. This was an official legal declaration filed with the government. Now, that's what prosecutors call evidence. And this isn't just a PR disaster. This is the kind of thing that gets people disbarred. It invalidates her authority in the biggest case of her career, Trump's. She may have just handed him the legal gift of the year. So what now? Ethics investigations, criminal inquiries, public outcry? If New York plays by its own laws, admittedly a big if there, Letitia James may soon be looking for work outside of politics. The irony is unreal. She tried to take down Trump by claiming he lied about property values. now she might be facing consequences for lying about living in a house. Letitia James didn't just sign a piece of paper. She may have just signed her own political death warrant. Her best bet would be to actually move to Virginia and lose her position in New York as Attorney General, because the alternative is she faces prison time and disbarment. And finally, this isn't just karma, guys. This is accountability. This is what accountability looks like. And for once, it's real and it's not coming for Trump. If this pans out, the woman who weaponized her office by using lawfare may be the one who gets disarmed. And that, my friends, is the upside. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
They said we'd lose if we stood alone. That China bleed us bone by bone. But we held our ground with iron will. Watched our